Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside the WBB Mason Coaches Report. Kerry Shriver joined as always by head coach of the Hofstra women's basketball team, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. And coach, how are you doing today?
Trying to stay warm, but doing okay.
Yeah, we'll stay warm today, but let's just look back. This past Sunday, you guys had a tough loss to Delaware, 73-62. What were some of your thoughts on the loss?
It was a horrible outcome. We were disappointed, so there's no two ways to shake that. But it was a different type feel and a different game of how our players approached it, and I felt like mentally we stayed the course, whereas I felt like we did not play very well at Delaware. Again, we did not shoot very well at our own place here. We had a lot of breakdowns, and some of that obviously was caused by Delaware, but we emotionally we handled that better, and we fell short. I mean, we didn't make buckets when we need to make the buckets, and we made a lot of very undisciplined mistakes defensively at times where we had the momentum shift. So a lot to draw from, but the effort and the attitude, was definitely much improved, than it was when we played them the first time.
So you just referenced shooting a little bit.
Yeah.
What other areas did you really see that you struggled with that were different maybe from the first time you guys faced Delaware?
Well, I mean, obviously we let Erica Brown have too many points, but even with the points that she had, if we would have handled the rest of the folks and didn't have some crucial defensive mistakes at times, we could have come out on the top. It was 5 minutes left. 4:19, we get a wide open point bank layup. We miss. We had so many chances that we missed, and I think that's what makes it difficult to swallow a little bit because, you get in this position and you have a chance to win, and we need to just be much more aggressive and much more. We do need to be tougher to knock down things and knock down shots at times where we can take the advantage. But so many times we had a chance to see them break. They were about to break, and that's where we need more leadership on the floor. We need more leadership on the floor.
And now just looking at some of those numbers, you guys had 30 points in the paint, you shot 34% from the field, and we're just 2 for 14 from beyond the arc. So in that can't, just getting those chances, how do you really try and capitalize on those and make sure that you guys knock down?
Well, we had 15 more shots than Delaware did. So, I just think that is, just going back, I think it's not just that the one shot, like I said, on the defensive end, in the first half, we weren't getting stops enough to rebound and get out in transition. And then we would get, we were within a 4-point margin, and then we were at a 6-point margin, like I said, where we had a multitude of chances, from the 6-minute mark on down in the second half. So, but we worked so much energy to, come back. They had a pretty big deficit, and we had to fight back in that deficit, and that's just a position that we just don't want to be in. We want to be the aggressor, not the one chasing, and I think that's just some of our issues here. We were chasing. And I've challenged Darius. I thought Darius Falk was the kind of player for us that has such a positive attitude. She's such a winner on the floor, and those vital moments. Now, of course, she got her 4th foul right at the 5:19 mark. That was a little catastrophic, and that was a momentum that was going in our way. But again, I was proud. We did put her head down, and we kept battling, and still had a bunch more opportunities. And she came back in and did a nice job. But it's her leadership on the floor, I think, of telling the players, we've got this, we can win. That she could really help us a lot better in that area. I thought the bench was good. Everybody's providing a lot of positive energy, but it really does help the 5 people on the floor and having one person that they can look up to. That's 3 sophomores looking at her and a freshman, and her as a junior. That role, that's a great role that she can embrace and can handle, and she just needs to start doing that in this month of February for us to be successful.
And someone else who seemed to have a positive attitude coming in, Angie White, she said after the game that she was ready for this one, that she really wanted to get the win, and she had a career best 16 points and 7 rebounds there. So what did you see from her, and how do you take that energy from someone who's saying it, she wants to win the game. Everyone, I'm sure, wants to win the game, obviously. But how do you take that energy and make sure that it keeps carrying through?
Well, I think your biggest statement on that is that we need to want to win every game, too. So I think that's your problem with inconsistency on the floor. Angie had a great game. She was making a personal attempt to handle herself, not get too many fouls, to be able to be on the floor. And so it wasn't like all the games, prior. She had a little bit of an illness and, a couple of things that, not allowed to get her stride back. But, that's kind of what our problem is. We need to be ready to go for every game, and we need to be consistent. And I think, you even look at Angie White, who is a junior in years, a sophomore in playing, didn't play any ball last year. Her first game was obviously the BC game this year. So you've got limited playing from her, limited playing from Kelly. Yeah, Krista Luciano, who played a lot of minutes last year. You have Darius, a transfer from West Virginia, that didn't play a lot last year. And then you have E, who got a lot of minutes on the floor, and that's still learning the game. So we have this great nucleus of kids that need, things to glue together from top down. And I think that's what Angie can provide, that consistent, ness for us and leadership. It could really help us on the floor, And I think that's, they need to be ready for every game. And I think that's some of the youth sometimes is having us understand the importance of consistent play.
And also looking at Aloy Faroka, she only had 7 points and about 6 rebounds too in that game. So when she gets defended well against it, does that frustrate her? Do you see any of that?
No, I mean, I think I think her issues in this game were even a little bit different. I mean, there's been times where she's gotten some fouls and we've had to go through the bench and things like that. But I think we need to get to her early. We need to give her the ball early, and we need to do a better job feeding the post. We need to be scoring more inside, and no argument with that. And they need to handle the passes, and they need to handle everything that's going on. But we need to have more of that inside-outside game, and I think that's my job here as a coach is getting the ball to the right people at the right times, and I think that's what we've got to do better. And that's why a big week preparing up for JMU. So we need to focus on what's important for us to get better and to help us in the long run for the entire month of February. And that was our challenge kind of going into the game, is that we've got to have a better February.
And now you're right, a big week coming up on Friday. James Madison University, the #1 team in the conference. Yeah. Also a place where you have some history as their recruiting and scheduling coordinator. Right. So besides them just being #1, for you going back, does it give you a little bit more excitement to play these games?
I mean, I think that's over now. I mean, I've been here for 9 years. I feel like I'm a New Yorker now. So, I mean, that's just a part of history. That was a part of my life. So none of that has an effect anymore. It's a fun game. It's going to be a highly competitive game. I mean, it's a top 25 team. I think they're going to play us like top 25 teams, which is exciting to me. I mean, no offense, but if we're going to be a great league and we're all sitting back, just playing zones the entire time, that's not how people are becoming a top 25 program. I understand you get in foul trouble. I understand there's certain things you got to do, but it's just nice when you watch these teams on TV that have these high quality programs. They're getting after the defensive end. That's what JMU does. So to me that's fun. That's excitement. It's going to give our chance. It should be a very highly competitive basketball game, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I do think we match up well. We just have to have our confidence going into this week, and I think that's just very important. The belief in what we are and what we can do can't just fade. From then a win and then a loss. A win, okay, we believe, okay, then a loss. So I think that is a little bit of that youth and that mentality. The mentality's not matching our talent. So to get ready for JMU, our mentality has to match our talent.
I know a lot of talented players on JMU. They have Precious Hall, who's leading in scoring with 21 points per game, and Lauren Okafor, who leads in rebounds with 10 rebounds per game. So what's the game plan really against players like that?
Well, and they have way more players than that. Ashley Perez is coming off the bench and just providing, everything that when someone else is not having the night that they need to. Jasmine Watney is just a dynamic WNBA player that, just does things. So, I mean, so they're deep, 1 through 10, and so you stop one, someone else is going to try to to put a dagger in you. So it's going to be a total team effort. I think you certainly have to contain Precious and and do the things you need to do there, but you certainly can't sleep on anybody else. So that's what makes it a fun, challenging, highly competitive game. But I'll state again, our mentality has to match our effort. We can have talent. Talent is those that know in the workforce, and that those that have been on this earth for a long time. It gets you this far. How hard you're going to work, when it's not easy, pretty much identifies you, as a team. So I think that's kind of where we are right now. We need to step up and, decide who we are and what we're going to be, and then we can, to be able to play the best and beat the best. So.
All right, Coach. Well, what's the key to getting that victory?
Everything I just said.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Well, no, but I mean, on a serious matter, I mean, we certainly, like on a more statistical or more game plan kind of situation, is that the breakdowns on the defensive end and surviving the runs and not having the middle drops during those runs. I mean, they rebound extremely well. They get the ball out. So, it's a battle on both ends of the floor, but certainly on the defensive end, we're going to be challenged for rebounding and, playing really good shell principles. And so, I mean, that's, on a very serious note, that's, we got to take care of business on that. So.
All right, well, head coach of the Hofstra Pride women's basketball team, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey, thanks so much for the time.
Appreciate it.
And the Pride women's team will take on JMU this Friday at 7 p.m. right here at the Max Sports Complex, and you can see it on Pride Productions. And then we didn't talk about it, but William and Mary on Sunday, they'll take them on at 1 p.m. right here at home, and that one's on American Sports Network.
And that's a huge alumni weekend as well, so we just need to put that out. There's a lot of former alumni from years past, from 80s and the 90s that are all, and obviously 2000 are coming to the game, so very important game for that as well.
So yep, make sure to come by.